See if there's a countdown. Oh, there is no countdown. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jim Kleiber. Oh, it already started. Yeah. Welcome to the Jim Kleiber Show. I am still getting used to the software. Today, I have my friend Peter joining. We will learn more about him in a second, but just wanted to thank everyone for listening and hope you enjoy the show. So, Peter and I met in Nairobi, Kenya at a fashion show where my friend was modeling and went out there. And Peter was one of the designers showing off his wares. And we met there, and then we just clicked, and we had so many conversations afterwards, and we just became really close friends. And to the point where Peter even demonstrated to me, not demonstrated, maybe like tutored or mentored me in making some of the leather goods that he is so famous for. And I think I did a decent job, but I also realized this shit is hard. So yes, I'll swear occasionally on the show. And yeah, just really grateful to have met Peter in my life, and curious to have him on the show and talk about his work, talk about his life, talk about emotions, of course, because it relates to everything. But yeah, so I'll pass it over to Peter to share a little bit more about his background and where he's at, and we can go from there. So, Peter.
Hey, hi Jim.
Hey.
It was nice actually meeting you. First time in Nairobi. Yeah, it was one of the best events ever. And actually, by the way, that was my first fashion show in Nairobi.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was literally my first fashion show in Nairobi, and I decided to showcase the exclusive collection that inspired by my mom's garden. And yeah, and the idea like it was very overwhelming, and I was like, yeah, it was really it was such a special day, such a special event. And yeah, and this is how we began our friendship. Yeah, so my real name is Mohamed Adam, aka Peter. I'm Sudanese, turning 30 next November, which is I'm turning 30 in a month. I'm a textile engineer, fashion designer. I studied both textile and fashion in Sudan. Graduated 2016, started my brand Peter and Black 2016 as well. I named it Peter and Black because I'm a proud African Sudanese young man, and I want to tell the people the story behind being African, being Sudanese, proud Black, and introducing my culture, my artwork, my yeah, and introducing whatever I have in mind, like creativity, innovation, to the world, and try to change to make an impact. So that's the idea of me starting Peter and Black, I guess. Yeah.
So, two questions obviously pop up. You say it was your first fashion show in Nairobi. Why was it your first fashion show? How long have you been in Nairobi? Even I forget.
1.5 year.
1.5 years. Okay, and
Yeah.
why did you come to Nairobi?
Okay, so I mean, okay, so the war started in Sudan, 15th of April 2023. Um, I stayed, like, literally I stayed a month, and then when I decided to flee, um, I had so many options. Not, I mean, not so many, but I had like four or five options, and one of them is Nairobi. But for me, the decision was based on the place that it's gonna be faster or fast enough to start working.
Hmm.
So to be honest, I guess I was just lucky enough that I know people in Nairobi, and I know Anne McCreeth, which is she's my fashion mentor. We had We met back in Sudan 2020, 2021, 2022, and then we met again 2022. We had a collabo together, and then we became friends. So yeah, so when the war started, like she reached out and she was asking how's things going, and then we had a conversation, and she was like, "Come to Nairobi. Probably you're gonna be getting a lot of opportunities, a lot of potentials." So this is exactly the reason that I came to Nairobi.
Whew. And when you came, I mean,
Mhm.
you had to start from scratch. I mean, what was your business like? I mean, did you transfer a lot of the business over? What had to change with your business when you came to Nairobi?
Okay, so um, actually, I've been running the business since 2018 until 2023. So you're talking about 7 years, seven, almost 8 years of running Peter and Black. Unfortunately, when the war happened, like we lost everything. So when we had to flee, I mean, when I had to flee, I fled. I just like took I mean, myself. I call it myself and my tiny suitcase, and then that's the only thing that I could take with me. Um I started from the scratch. The only thing that I still have is the social media from back then. But other than that, I have literally to start from like literally from the scratch.
Because like you were telling me when I was there, you had to get like new
Mm.
suppliers for leather. I mean, you had to figure out
Yeah, yeah,
like,
everything is totally different. Everything is new. I mean, the whole market is new, and also the thing is, it's totally different market, and it has a lot of potentials, but also like the dynamics, how things work here, how to be legal, how to legalize the business, legalize yourself, the state, etc. Until the day, like it's not really easy to settle a business in Nairobi.
mm,
And I say Nairobi is not an environmental no, no, an entrepreneurial environmental friendly, because setting up a business, if you want to run your own business, you need to deposit almost like $100,000,
mm,
regardless the business model.
yeah,
So it's not something that anyone can afford, let alone like you're escaping a war.
let alone you're escaping a war.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not something easy for someone to do. If even if they had money, it's not necessarily that easy.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
But
yeah.
especially if you
It's
don't have that much money and you're escaping a war, it's
mm, mm,
and then so just to clarify, because even I don't fully know this, you started
mhm.
Peter and Black when you were living in Sudan, or were you living somewhere else when you started?
Yeah, I was living in Sudan. I was actually it was the last year of graduation actually.
Mm.
I started Peter and Black right before graduation.
Because the other question I was going to ask is that you talked about the Sudanese identity and representing Peter and Black and being proud to be Black and Sudanese.
Mm.
You've spent a lot of your time living outside of Sudan as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, I was born and raised in Libya. I came back Sudan for the second time, but for the first time to live there, 2007.
Hmm.
Yeah, studied high school, university, and then I started moving. Yeah, I traveled. Like yeah, but part of it, like the main part of it was like the business. So I was moving a lot because of the business. But also like that's a thing. I feel like part of me is gonna be forever grateful for the fact that I made it back to Sudan.
Mm.
I feel like it made me who I am. yeah, it made me who I am. It made me explore a lot of things, discover myself, discover yeah, being able to be me today. Uh, that's because of Sudan, actually. That's why for me it was like part of me. I really wanna to pay back at least whatever um, the country like provided for me. I wanted to pay it back to the country. And until the day, like even though I feel like we're about to lose the country forever, but I feel like part of it that I need actually to make an impact, even outside, like even if I can at least showcase my artwork on behalf of my fellow creatives, Sudanese creatives. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not just showing your artwork, it's showing Sudanese artwork channeled through you in a way, right?
Yeah, and
You,
and
you,
it's more of a
you plus your other experiences. It's almost like
mm,
it's not just Sudan. Oh, sorry, there's a clock on the wall that makes noise every hour, so I don't know if people hear that, but it's a nice reminder in my house to know that time still passes. Some people will be on the phone are like, "Hey, it's somebody's at your door." I'm like, "No, no, it's just a clock I've known for my whole life, and it only makes
like
noise. I hear it when I'm on calls with people."
yeah. Actually, that's what I thought. Actually,
um, but
mm,
yeah, so it's this mix, right? So if you're for me, it's almost like you're a bridge between, or you act as a bridge between Sudan and other countries, and connecting the two, and going back home to Sudan helped you kind of deepen your roots there so that you can still play that role of Sudanese, but also global, but Sudanese, but like this mix. Yeah.
yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Like I'm still like I feel like I'm still carrying the base of being Sudanese, but then wherever I go, I I take something from each country that I visit, like an element, and I add it to the design process, the collection, whatever. Like I'm getting inspired by. Um, but but at the end of the day, I feel like I still have this Sudanese identity that I always want to showcase in a way that,
Mm.
yeah, I feel like I want to show it more and more because it's actually what's making it different. This is exactly the difference. This is exactly the uniqueness. And I feel like, yeah, when you introduce, that's also one of the things I feel like it's as creatives, like we need to introduce our cultures, our traditions, our identities of our own countries. Like we need to showcase it because this is what makes us unique. So yeah,
And if we don't showcase it, then it shrinks and kind of shrivels and goes away, right? So I mean,
yeah,
how
yeah,
much culture is so much of just passing on knowledge and passing on, whether that's verbal knowledge or physical knowledge. Even the leather making, that process I did with you is like, hey, man, this stuff is tough. Not leather making, but like
mm,
crafting or whatever you'd call it. Um,
mm,
it is still knowledge being passed on generation to generation, and
mm.
um, and I wonder, yeah, especially in the context of a war, how there might be more fear that the knowledge won't pass on, or that so many things won't pass on in general. Like you said, afraid you're going to lose the country, but it's maybe
Mm.
not afraid, not even just afraid to lose the country, but maybe afraid to lose the culture too, in some ways.
Yeah, that's very true because I mean I feel like part of me part of the fear actually is the fear of losing uh, what it means to be Sudanese.
Hmm.
I mean, the pride, the morals, the beliefs, everything that we're very proud of as Sudanese. I feel like I'm afraid that we're gonna lose it. And to be honest, like if we lose all of these, um, yeah, if we lose them, I feel like we're gonna lose our identities. So we're gonna be like Sudanese by name, but not. But there is nothing, like that makes us Sudanese.
Mm.
Yeah.
That might be one of the biggest dangers of war that we don't talk about, and conflict in
Mm.
general, is kind of losing ourselves. And I think with war, it's like collectively losing ourselves in some way. What's that mean?
Can I? So my phone is dying.
Oh,
Let
it
me
gave me a little
know.
timeout. I was like, "What is this timeout thing? What's going on?"
You know,
You have a
uh,
charger?
my power bank is over there. I'm
Yeah.
just bringing it.
So as Peter goes to get
Yeah,
his power bank, I'll just talk so it doesn't, so I don't have to edit. And
yeah,
we have some
I'm with
weird.
you. I'm with you. I'm with you, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm
I
with you,
think
by the
that
way.
maybe one of the biggest challenges in war is that almost collectively losing our identity, or our identity changing in a way so
Mm,
dramatically, both from how we identify ourselves and how other people identify ourselves. I think
mm.
it could be,
Yeah,
I think something like, it doesn't even have to be war, but something big happening, then all of a sudden the world identifies us with that event. So there was just a hurricane that went through North Carolina, and so right now people going, "Ooh, North Carolina equals hurricane." But it's
mm,
like people don't only want to be remembered for that one event. And I
yeah,
can imagine something as big as war, and something
mm,
as with such a negative connotation as war, and kind of the feelings it arises in other people, that there's maybe a challenge globally, but also within the Sudanese population, of just thinking of Sudan equals war, instead of
mm,
Sudan also equals so many
mm,
other things.
mm.
So,
Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, I feel like it's so yeah, I feel like yeah, this is at least like one of the things that I can still do for my country for the sake of the country is like to keep showcasing our culture through the craft, through the artwork, through yeah, whatever I'm doing right now that way. So
and I've even noticed it. So Peter was very kind for my birthday. He gave me a very nice, beautiful wallet that he had designed, and I can even show it because it's so beautiful. And we have video, so it's
thank
part of
you.
the video. I can still, I love it. Look at this. Look at this wallet. Hey. I'm like, what's on the inside as I open it up? Like, should I show the inside? Yeah, okay, you can see the inside. So. I hope there wasn't any. Oh shit, there was the driver's license. Might have to blur that out. Yeah, identifying information on the internet, that's always a challenge. Ah, damn. But so even when I'm walking around with that wallet here in the US right now, and I pull out the wallet, I have a temptation to tell people like, hey, this is a wallet from my friend who is from Sudan. It's beautiful. And almost to counteract the narrative sometimes that people might have of seeing Sudan on CNN or some of the news channels. Um, yeah, to just kind of complicate the narrative a little bit, to remind people that there is beauty, there is craftsmanship, there is talent, skill, intelligence that's happening in so many different parts of the world, and to just remind people, like, this is
Yeah.
better than I think any wallet I can get in the US. It's beautiful, you know, like, bad. So, and I've seen the man at work. He's good at what he does. Hey, I was trying to do it. I'm like, my hands are not working. How does he see
You
that?
know,
I'm like, I finally did it great. And he's like, yeah, it's okay. Here, you can do this and this. And it's like, what? Hey.
yeah, but that's I mean like but let's say for the first time that was good, right? Like for the
But here's
first
the
time,
thing. You've been doing it. You've been working with leather for a long time, or you've had, like, what's
yeah, it
your
was like
background
I
with
started
leather?
yeah, yeah, it was like I started working with leather 2015 actually. My first time, like my first encounter with leather
Mm.
was 2015. Me and a friend. So actually, long story short, my friend gave me a bag, like a handmade leather bag. One day, I drew on the bag with a marker, like literally, like I was just like doing graffiti on the bag. And when he saw it, he was like, why don't we work together? And I was like, yeah, we can do so. So this is how we started. So literally,
Wow.
like I was the artist. Like, he used to give me like the bags, and I just and it was very simple. The idea of having your bag with your name customized,
Mm.
or let's say your like your portrait, whatever. Like it was just like a very simple idea. So we worked together for almost 1 year, and then yeah, and then okay. So I wanted to have a brand. Like I wanted to make something different, like having a brand, having this, because I started like to read about the like branding, marketing, and I had a lot of friends, like who offered actually to help with running the brand, because to be honest, like we were getting a lot of orders that time. So my friend, my partner, didn't want actually to go like brand wise. He wanted to go commercial.
Mm.
So this is when we were. To be honest, like I didn't want to do the commercial part. So I decided to pull out, and then I was like, we had like a friendly phone call, and I was like, like I'm gonna pull myself out, but because I feel like the brand is no longer me. The brand has an identity right now, right away, and whoever, because I'm an artist, so I only draw on the bag.
Mm.
You can have anyone who can actually add the artwork on the back. So it's not
Mm.
just me. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, like, I wanted to do my things myself. So I started, like,
Mm.
literally, I started the beginning of 2016. And I had my assistant, which is my junior in college. I was like, I just want you like to help me with whatever. And he was like, I don't know anything. I was like, I can teach you everything that you want. I can just show you, like, I just want you to be my assistant. And this is how we started Peach and Black, actually. Like, I remember I started with one piece of leather. I bought it from a local market, and I made like two backpacks. And this is how we started. Like
Wow.
literally, and I remember also, like, no, no, but before starting, I remember I wanted to do branding, like a proper branding,
Mm.
the logo, everything. So I have one of my friends, like a very, like one of the most talented people ever. I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey, I want to do this 1, 2, 3, 4 for the brand." And he was like, "Okay, so I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna give you like a good discount." And I remember that time it was like, I guess, $400 for the branding.
Mm. Mm.
So I literally borrowed the money from my dad, and I was like, "Hey, can I borrow?" Yeah, literally, because like I was
Yeah.
independent. Like I was very independent
Yeah.
that time. Like I was independent for 1 year, so it was hard for me to take to to go back and take money from my dad. So I literally went to my dad and I was like, "Can I borrow money? Can I borrow like 4,000?" Yeah, that time was like 4,000 Sudanese Janneh pounds. And I was like, "Can I borrow 4,000?" So he gave me the 4,000. I paid it for my friend. He did the branding, which is like the logo that I have now.
Mm.
And trust me, like okay, so he did the branding, and then he sent me like two proposals. When he literally sent me the two, and I chose the one that I'm having right now right away,
Mm.
and without even like describing anything, I knew exactly what the logo is about.
Mm.
And he was like, I know that you're gonna realize. Yeah, it was like, like it was a moment of realization. But when I saw it, and I was like, this is my logo, and this is PNB, and that's it. So yeah, so it was like I was more excited actually to get the branding, and yeah, and I got I got my assistant, and I got the piece of leather. I started working. Um Even I remember I borrowed like some of the tools like from my friend, my ex business partner,
Hmm.
just until like I could buy my own tools. And then yeah, this is how I started the journey. Yeah, this is exactly like how simple it was.
The lesson I pull from this is that sometimes people who are really creative really like to design,
Mhm.
don't just want to do one small part of the design. It's like you were drawing on the bags and you're like, I want to do more. Don't just draw on the bag. I want to
Yeah,
make the bag. I want to make the logo. I want to have the
no,
like
but like no, no,
bigger,
but
more
part of
expensive creative process. Huh?
yeah, but part of the story actually that I had to learn how to make the bags
Yeah, you
because
didn't know.
we yeah because no no because we were receiving a lot of orders, so
Ah,
and we were only two,
mm,
so he wasn't actually saying no to anyone,
ah,
so that's why like I had to learn to help him. So I was
mm,
literally like doing the artwork, making the bags. Even I remember like sometimes like because he was living like almost 20 kilometers away from my house,
mm,
even I guess I believe even more, like 30 kilometers something. Literally on my way back, taking transportations, I was, like I was using the time like to stitch some bags, like stitch some product. I can still remember, like these, like recollect these memories. To be honest, like I'm very grateful because it tells me that I really worked hard for it,
mm,
and I remember the day that I went to my dad and I told him that I'm not gonna take any penny from you.
mm,
I'm gonna be fully independent. I start to make money. The leather work is doing great, so I feel like I can sponsor myself, even like my university and everything. And this is exactly what happened. So yeah, so I feel like I'm a hardworking person.
Peter is still a hardworking person. As you were talking about stitching bags on the bus or whatever you were taking, I was thinking, yeah, Peter would tell me, "Hey, you can come. We can come. You can come to the workshop and talk with me, but I have to do work. So you can talk, and I'll be stitching the bag. So we can be in the cafe, we can be in the workshop, but I'm still going to be stitching and working on the bag." He
Yeah.
brings his paint to the cafe, and he's like with the paint, and I'm like, "Look at this bag."
Yeah, because
um, yeah.
I feel like now like I have like a muscle like a muscle memory.
Mm.
So my hands know exactly what to do.
It's like my mom when she'd watch TV, she used to knit blankets and stuff. She'd just watch
Yeah,
TV and I'm like, "How are you
yeah,
watching TV and knitting at the same time?" It's just, it's almost like she had to. And I wonder if sometimes for you, it's like if you're not working with leather, you're like, "What are my hands doing?" What's
no, honestly speaking, sometimes like that's why like I feel like it's for me now like it's like I'm working with leather. When I'm finished, when I'm done with leather, I come back to the kitchen.
Mm, mhm.
So
Yeah.
I feel like it's so my hands need to do something.
Cooking and leather crafting.
Yeah, cooking and leather crafting.
What do you call it? Leather crafting, leather making, leather working?
Leather. Okay, leather crafting is actually the craft. It's leather
Okay.
crafting.
Okay.
Leather making is the process.
Of making the leather itself?
Yeah,
Uh-huh, like the tanning and all that stuff with the leather.
yeah. This is the leather making. Yeah,
Aha,
but
okay.
people like sometimes like people say like when it comes to leather, like people use leather crafting and leather making together.
Okay.
So it gives you the same meaning. But I mean, it's like yeah, but the right term is leather crafting because
S
leather is a craft. Like this is like the yeah.
Okay, so you are a leather crafter.
No, we call
Or
them leather
No,
leather
sorry, it's
craft
just yeah,
leather
good.
craftsman.
Leather craftsman. Ah, that sounds better than
Yeah,
leather
leather
crafter.
craftsman. Yeah, leather crafter. They
The
are.
leather crafter.
Leather.
It's funny. So it was yesterday. There's a song that comes on the radio, and one part of the song is "She sells seashells by the seashore," and I was like, interesting. And I started trying to say it faster and faster, and I got to the point where it was somewhat easy. She sells
Mm.
seashells, but I've totally lost that point. And I thought about how sometimes tongue twisters can be harder for some people than other people, depending on their linguistic background and whatnot. So maybe leather crafter is somewhat of a tongue twister, even for me, but for other people as well. Um, yeah, leather crafter.
No. It sounds weird actually. Leather crafter. Like,
Yeah,
what's the leather crafter?
leather craftsman. Yeah, that feels
Leather craftsman. Yeah.
yeah. A craftswoman, craftsperson.
Craft like no. No.
Ah, okay. So you talk about being independent. You talk about having this brand for a long time, and you've told me before,
Mm.
but I'm curious if other people want to hear. If you weren't, what was your alternative career path, or what were alternative career paths that you were like, no, I'm going to do the brand? What did you turn down to do the brand?
I guess it was the brand. It was literally the brand. Like, I didn't have anything else. Like, I didn't
Have you ever
imagine
thought
myself
about
with
doing anything else, even to
no,
no working at a company,
no,
working
no,
academia?
no. That's wrong. I'm sorry.
Have other
That's
people
wrong.
suggested you do this? Have other people suggested you stop with the
Ah,
brand and do something else?
yeah, yeah, a lot. And I was like, no,
By a lot, you mean a lot?
yeah, a lot. And like I always say that they cannot really afford me. I mean, if I, yeah,
I'm
I
gonna start.
mean,
I'm gonna start using that one. That's a good line. I like that
yeah,
line.
I mean, to be honest, like if you want me, just imagine that. Like you want me to be fully dedicating myself to your work, like whatever job, like you're giving me,
Mm, mm.
you're assigning me with, and you want me to work like 8 hours a day. How many, like 5 days a week? How much are you willing to pay me? This is a lot of money.
Well, because to do
No.
that, it means you have to stop working on the stuff that you want to work on.
Yeah, I mean, I have to
So the
because like
opportunity cost of like, yeah.
and it's not just the like it's not just like the cost of like the opportunity cost, but it's
Mm,
also like I'm gonna give myself to the business, to the work.
mm,
I
mm,
know that I'm gonna give it all. And 8 hours of working daily, I mean, this is a lot of me focusing.
mm.
So you need to better pay for that. If you cannot really pay, if you cannot really afford that, then you cannot really, yeah.
Now, a lot of people. So I asked this question mostly because a lot of people tell me the same thing. Like, you
Mm.
should just do this, do that, do this. I'm like, no, I found something I really like doing. Um, and a lot of people will say, you're just entitled. You're blessed. You're fortunate that you're able to do that. How do you deal with people saying, well, you're just able to do that because you're so privileged? I mean, it's not easy for
I
you,
don't
right?
know. There is nothing privileged about it. Trust me. Like there is a price that we're paying every day, though. Because okay, so at the end of the day, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm telling people actually. Running your own business means that if you have like literally if you're sick, if you have an occasion, if you have a funeral, whatever situation you're in, you have to work.
Mm,
You don't have time to grieve, you don't have time to get depressed, you don't have time like literally you don't have time like even weekends, like you work like 24/7. If you're sleeping, you're working, your brain doesn't shut down. People don't really understand that. Like
Mm,
like for me, privilege is you're working literally 30 days, let's say. At the
mm,
end of the month or the beginning of the next month, you're getting your salary. So
mm,
you know exactly the amount of money you're getting every month.
mm,
I don't, I don't, I don't know like what I'm, how much I'm making, but I have to make it regardless because I have like bills to pay. So I don't know. I mean, if I'm not making sales this month, then it means like no one else is gonna pay my bills. So I have to make it happen. Even if it's not happening, it has to happen. So people don't really see it. They think, okay, so you're privileged. You're not working tomorrow because you're your boss. And I was like, I wish that I can just, like we can exchange, we can switch places, so you can see how difficult it is, how hard it is actually to run your own business, and especially to be honest, like working in Kenya is a whole different, like a whole different
mm,
level of, oh my God,
mm.
like it's, let me not just start.
Well, working in Kenya is different than starting a business in Kenya,
Damn, both of them.
right? Yeah, because I appreciate you saying that there's a certain level of predictability in having a job. Of I
Mm.
know that at the end of the month, depending again in Kenya, sometimes in other countries, sometimes people don't pay at the end of the month. Companies don't pay, but in general, people tend to get paid when they're supposed to get paid when they have a job as an
Yeah, yeah,
employee, and people tend to have certain ranges of what they're expected to do. So it's kind of a
that's true.
predictability on, okay, well, maybe I work 8 hours a day, maybe some days it's 9, some days it's 10, but it's not 15,
Yeah,
you know?
and
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 so,
also, sorry. Mhm.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, but I wanted to add also, it's like it's not just the hours, it's also the money. Like literally, let's say you're an employee today, someone's employee, you're getting like $1,000, $1,000 a month.
Mm,
You know exactly that you're gonna be working for this person at least, let's say, 6 months ahead. So
mm, mhm,
if you're renting an
mm,
apartment, you know exactly that you're renting the apartment, let's say, for 300, and then you're having like your expenses, whatever living expenses, like 300, and then you have this whatever like left for you is like 400, right? Yeah, because this is
mhm,
600. So you know exactly like you can have a savings 200, and then the 200 like you have something else to do with. You know exactly. Even if you want to take money, let's say like something happened and you had like to borrow money, you know exactly that the next month I have this. So you kind of have like, let's say, like a very constant uh, routine life,
mm,
let's say, or like events. So you know
mhm,
exactly like what you're expending, what you're expecting, and how you spend it, and how this is. That means like
mm,
when you run the business, 1 month actually you can get like a $10,000 order, but
mhm,
then but because you got the $10,000, now like your expenses are becoming more
mhm,
because you
mm,
have
mhm,
money. So you're
mm,
gonna rent whatever, you're gonna do whatever, you're gonna, like you're gonna do a lot of things because now you have money. But then the next month you don't have the money, the same amount of money, because it doesn't work the same. So you feel like, like it's ups and downs. So today you can have like $1 million. Tomorrow you're broke.
mm.
But then you still have the same expenses that you need to take care of.
Yeah, so there are recurring expenses, but often you don't have the recurring income.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so if you're just a human who is employed at a company, we have the recurring expenses of whether it's phone or whether it's
Yeah.
rent or mortgage or whether it's all these different things are recurring. A certain amount of food that we eat per week, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but we have recurring income. But
Yeah.
if you're owning a business or independent contractor, which is owning a business, or yeah, and um, and don't have the recurring income, it can be really hard to pay the recurring expenses.
Yeah.
It can cause a lot of stress. And then people say, "Oh, you're not working." It's like, "No, I'm working. I'm thinking about this stuff in my dreams." Like I'm working
Yeah.
even when
Yeah.
I'm sleeping. Like,
That's very true because but that's exactly the thing. Uh, at the end of the day, like you feel like when you pay this, like if it's this is the new month, like you need to know exactly that you're gonna be able to at least have enough fund for the next month.
mm,
So it's always like you need to have like fund for 2 months ahead. Sometimes like it's 3 months ahead, which is which is I feel like in Nairobi this is not how it works
mm.
because yeah, people don't really. I mean, it's like working with corporates, working with individuals. People don't really pay. They do have money, but they're very slow. Like things are extremely slow.
A big challenge in Nairobi that I've seen, and I've talked
Mm,
about it in other podcast episodes and stuff, this idea of black tax, or I might even call it familial tax, like family
mm,
tax.
mm.
Um, the challenge is, I think, if a lot of people in a family have recurring expenses but don't have recurring income, then they
Income, yeah.
rely on some of the people who do have recurring income
Mm.
in their family to try to pay those. And some of those people are running businesses, some of those people are employees at companies, and so it can really, so even maybe even people who are employees in certain countries and cultures or in places, um, have recurring income, but not enough recurring income to cover the recurring expenses that they have, that their parents have, that their siblings
Their
have. And so
family,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
so they're an employee, but they're also a business person trying to hustle, trying to increase their revenue month to month just to be able to cover the recurring expenses that other people in their life have,
Mm,
which
mm.
is, yeah. So, because I mean, somebody who is here in the US often, it really depends on the family, but I would say culturally in general, somebody who is here in the US who has a stable, steady job has recurring enough recurring income to pay for their recurring expenses. Maybe not. I mean, obviously it can vary across classes. Tons of people have a lot of credit card debt. So maybe I'm really off on this. But credit card debt, I think, might come from more of the unpredicted expenses that the recurring income doesn't cover it. And then people don't have side hustles. They don't have their own business to be able to match those expenses. So yeah, it's just, yeah, it's tricky. And I wonder if people who have the stable job actually feel super stable. Maybe some of them, because maybe they don't have a lot of the unpredictable expenses, or maybe they have healthcare insurance, or they have auto insurance. They have other insurance schemes that help them with these unpredictable expenses, and they don't have them from family members so much, or the family members have insurance, or they have uh,
Mm.
like benefits that go, like social benefits, social welfare that go to the poor or people who don't have money. And yeah, but in some contexts, like in Nairobi, if people don't have enough money to pay their own bills, man, they often don't have enough money to pay the bills of the other people in their lives who don't have the money, and it can just really
Yeah, that's
cascade.
true.
It can
Yeah,
just really
yeah, yeah.
cascade. And so I just say it that way because I think we assume, okay, well, if you just get the steady job, you have predictable income and you have recurring income and you can cover all your recurring expenses. Not
It's not
really.
about you. It's
Not
not about you
really.
anymore.
But even if it's just you, that's not always true. How many people go into debt because they can't cover their recurring expenses with the, yeah, I don't know. Just, yeah. So just, I don't know. I guess I'm a kindred soul with you, trying to say, hey, it's not so easy doing the things by ourselves, or not by ourselves, but like not as an employee. Because even if you think about
Yeah.
organizations, even if 95% of the people there are employees, there's still 5% that are going, oh God, how are we going to make payroll for the end of the month? Like
Yeah, that's true.
my buddy runs a consulting firm, and I remember him being so stressed out. Like, if this contract falls apart, I can't make payroll, and that's a big deal. Not being able to pay employees is a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but that's exactly, and sometimes like, but that's the problem with, especially here, like in Nairobi. I feel like this is what's happening with Jim Forest as well.
Mm,
So yeah, so they're literally taking their forever time, and it's been almost like it's been over a month now since we had the first meeting, the second meeting, third meeting. And yeah, you remember like when you said like people are confrontation avoidant. They literally
mm.
avoid confrontations. So I had to push my way so many times and ask and send emails and this and that. I need to know. And I called actually what do we call him?
Just remember, this is
I
a podcast in public, so say what you want,
no
say
no no
what you
it's
don't
fine.
want.
No 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 it's fine it's fine because like it's because I had to call the owner.
Yeah.
I called the owner and was like, here, like, this is 1 2 3 4 happening, and this is this and that, and I want to know, like, where am I standing? Because,
Mm.
yeah. So yeah, so that's just like I'm speaking of my own experience though. So it's such a hustling environment actually, and people hustle a lot and suffer more, even more and more. So yeah, so that's
I wonder how much of that is because there aren't insurance programs that help people with these unpredicted expenses, or lines of credit, credit cards, loans, things that make it easier for people to cover these random expenses that they didn't see coming. Because over here, people do go into debt, credit card debt, and things like this, but it means that they can pay the thing off when they need to.
mm,
So maybe somebody doesn't have good car insurance or something, and or maybe just it's not even about the insurance. It's about just owning a car. Cars break down, and so it could be a flat tire, it could be a broken axle, it could be, I mean, oil change. I mean, these things happen with cars. There's maintenance required
mm,
for cars, and if people don't, not all of it's predictable. Flat tires aren't necessarily, or punctures, as the British would say, I think.
mm,
Um, aren't always predictable. And if people don't have the cash on hand to pay for it, in some countries, people have to ask other friends and family for cash. Whereas here and in some countries, people have credit cards and they can just put it on the credit card, then they have almost like a 30-day loan to pay it off.
mm,
And even if they don't pay it off, they could still kind of keep it. It gets a little more complex over time, but they get the cash in the moment when they need it. Whereas other places you don't. I know in Kenya, and I imagine in other parts of Africa and other parts of the world, where you go to the hospital and you don't have the cash, you don't get the service.
yeah, yeah, it's
So
you're off.
where, whereas in the U.S. there is, I believe, a law that says every emergency room must treat a patient regardless of whether the patient pays. So
Mm,
if you have an emergency, you go into the emergency room, they treat you, and then they figure out afterwards how you're going to pay.
mm,
I think by law. And so
mm.
there are places in the world that don't have that.
Yeah,
And so imagine you have a heart attack or something, you go into the hospital and you're like, well, you have to pay for it. Huh? What? You have to find, what the hell? How am I supposed to find money? What?
before you die, before
Really? No, really. Yeah,
before
it's
you
just,
die.
yeah. And it's just, how many people does that happen to? And how much stress does that add to other people? And how much does that cascade where people say, well, I'm not going to give you money. I promised you I'd give you this money today, but my uncle went to the hospital with like heart problems. I have to pay for that.
Nothing.
And it's annoying. Like, I'd be pissed off, but not fully, because I kind of get it. It's like, what are they supposed to do? withhold the money from the uncle who's in the hospital because they said they'd pay the contract on time.
Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah, it's a lot of I don't know, a lot of issues.
And so, for example, as like, okay, I don't know if this is a good segue, but we can talk about the crowdfunding. But how if you have a business venture that or something that you're trying to do for work
Mm,
in Kenya,
mm.
how are you supposed to get capital to be able to try to pursue this? How do you get credit for it? Is there, especially as a
I
foreigner?
don't. No, I don't think so. I feel like it's
You
whether you
can't get
get
a
an
bank loan, right?
investor. No. I mean, if you want to get a bank loan, I feel no. I believe it's not. I feel. I believe that you need to have a residency first.
Hmm.
But to have a residency first, it means like you have a company. To have a company, it means like you already have the money. So that's the loop. You get what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to get a loan, it means like you already put like $100,000 deposit, open your company, got your residency, got your bank account, the personal and the company bank account, and then you're asking for more than $100,000.
Mm.
But as an entrepreneur, no, you don't have anywhere to go. I mean, you can ask family and friends if you have family and friends here. You can ask family and friends for personal loan. You can, I guess, like a lot of like programs. Let's say I don't know, different programs where you can just apply and then maybe get something, a grant, whatever.
But those are
But
often
I mean,
from foreign programs or something operating
yeah,
there,
for
right?
yeah, obviously, but also like how the possibility of getting chosen is also like it's not something that you can rely on. So it's not, you get what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like it's not really sustainable. Like you're literally trying your best like to get money, but you might get it, you might not get it.
Well, if you have, say, for example, you're working at that organization that's giving the money, and you have
Mm,
specific amount of recurring income,
mm.
but you have a, a brother who doesn't have a job, and your recurring income is paying for your expenses and his expenses. So if you can give him the job, or you can give the opportunity or to him, then you both win. You both profit. But if he gives it to
Yeah,
some if he gives it to somebody else, then you still have to pay for your and your brother's expenses.
that's
It's
very
like
true, by the way. Like that's very true. Like
it's tricky.
like most of these opportunities actually go to like relatives, let's say, friends,
Yeah.
family, etc. People that you may know, like the person knows. I mean, or it doesn't have actually, yeah, it doesn't have to be like family and friends. It can actually be, you applied for a grant and you have someone inside that, like uh, recommended you, whatever, like that's a thing. Or you've been doing some work with someone inside, someone. Yeah.
Mm,
Anyways, like it's yeah.
yeah.
This is how it works.
Connection
Like
on the
most of the
inside. Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
connection. Like you have a connection. So this is how it works. Like most of the time. But also, like I feel like it's at the end of the day, it's not something that you can rely on
Mm,
because if you want to run your business, like you yeah, then the other one you need to find an incubator.
mm.
Yeah, you need to find an investor or maybe a business partner. So this is how most of the things work, especially when it comes to like getting capital. Other than that, I don't think so. Or you self-fund the business.
Which those things work And the
Mm-hmm.
self-funding one has a little more flexibility. The other ones work maybe if you know that in 1 year you're going to have a certain amount of expense that you need to pay.
Mm.
You need specific money for 1 year from now. Then you can go through the loan process, you can go through the grant process, you can go through all these different processes, which sometimes take a really long time to happen.
But
Um,
like even the loan process, you don't actually. Uh, I guess you don't just go and apply for it. Like you need to have a certain. I feel like, yeah, you need to
mhm.
have an income at least, right?
Yeah, you need to
So
have, at
you,
least
you
in the
need.
US, yeah, you need to have an income most of the time, or you need to
I
have a
mean, any
huge asset. You need to have like a huge
yeah,
house or something that you can leverage.
anywhere,
Yeah.
anywhere, anywhere, and you need someone like who can actually like you need, yeah, you need to like to submit like supporting documents of whatever
Yep.
like you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of work, by the way. Like there is nothing called like, okay, so I want to get a loan, so I'm just gonna go to this bank and ask, hey, can I? No, you will never get it.
No, I mean, even here in the US, for somebody who's self employed, I was looking at it. There's a lot of income verification, which can be hard if you're self employed. If you work for an
Yeah.
organization, it's much easier to prove income. But if you are doing one sale here, one sale there, it can be a lot more complex to show the documentation. Um,
Mm.
but here, there are things like line of credit you can get with the bank. There are credit cards. There are things that people can do in a pinch to pay for the unexpected expenses. But yeah, so, anyways, like, I guess I'm talking about this because recently you have uh, discovered you have an unexpected expense. Now, it's not an expense of like, it's an emergency, I'm going to die. It's not like life or
Mm.
death, but it's a huge
Mm.
opportunity, right? That
Yeah,
just
I
came about
mean,
recently.
mm.
You just found out about it, right? It wasn't like you didn't
It wasn't
predict that it
planned.
was going to happen. It wasn't planned.
I
It wasn't
I
planned, and it's
literally,
soon. It's not like it's
yeah,
far away. It's not like next
yeah.
year and you could go through all these processes to try to find. Yeah.
Mm. And literally, I forgot about it. Like I literally forgot that I applied for it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember when was even that? I guess it was June.
I think so.
I guess it was June. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I guess that time, the same time as the fashion event. This is,
Hmm.
I guess, when I applied for it, and then it was an open call for emerging fashion designers. You have to be part of the MENA region, and I applied for it, and I was like, okay, so what worse could happen? I mean, because I applied for Fashion Trust Arabia, and I applied for also like Fashion Trust Arabia for fashion designers from MENA region, and I applied for both. So I
Okay.
received like less than a month ago, I received like an email from Fashion Trust Arabia that we're sorry to inform you that you haven't been selected because like we had tons of applications, whatever, and hope you what like, yeah, these type of
Yeah.
things. They will
Yeah.
like try next year and this and that. I mean, and to be honest, like I hope, like I had high hopes that I'm gonna be chosen, because I was like, okay, so with everything that's happening in Sudan, and I feel like I uh, I have a good opportunity, like to make it to Fashion Trust Arabia this year. So I didn't get chosen. But then, like 5 days ago, was it 5 days ago? Yeah, I feel like 5 days ago, I received the email of it was like information, like we just wanna tell you. We just want to welcome you to M7, and we want to tell you that you've been selected to showcase at M7 pop-ups, which is taking place at M7, 26th of November. And this and that, you want you to sign the contract by first, pay the contract fee by 3rd of October, and please go through the contract and let us know if you need any more informations. I saw the email and I couldn't open it. So I was like, okay, so I'm having a lot of things happening. Let me open it later.
Mm.
I literally went back home. I came back. No, I was outside. I went back home. I came back. I went to the studio and I opened it like at night. And I read the email. I opened the contract. It was like 21 pages. And I was
Hey.
like, what? Like literally, like the contract. And like the contract is like Qatar Museums, which is the government.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, so this is serious. So I read
Mm.
the contract. No, I went through the contract. So the contract has like two sections. The
Mm.
right section is in Arabic, and the left section is in English. So
Mm.
I was like, okay, so let me just make it easier for myself and read it in Arabic. And I didn't know why I did this. Literally, I went through it, just like through it in Arabic. I didn't understand anything, and I just no, trust me, like that was like the worst part of it. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
understand anything in Arabic, and I was like, okay, let me read it in English. It was more, clear in English. So like I was checking the contract. It was like 21 pages, and I was like, oh my god, like this is a lot. And then I came to the section where the contract fee,
Mm.
15,000 Qatari riyal, which
Mm.
is $4,000.
Mm.
And I was like, fuck. Sorry for the word. I mean, it's a podcast. And I was like, damn. Uh, I don't know. Like I couldn't. How can I say that? I didn't know whether I should be happy or sad because I was waiting
Mm.
for this opportunity like my whole life. I've been to Doha 3 times, and I had a
Mm.
meeting with the same people who actually selected me, and I
Mm.
never made it. Like literally, I never made it. And I was like, okay, so I need to make it anyways. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? I guess the first person that I told is Salam. I told him about
Mm.
it, and he was like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, I don't know. So he was like, let me know. Like he was also concerned about it. And he was like, for $4,000 is too much. But then, are you gonna be able like to what things are they providing for you? Like what are they
Mm.
providing? How like is it just the 4,000, or like you have another expenses? So I walked through the email again, the contract, sorry, and I sent the contract for Salim.
Mm.
I called my other friend, and she was like, "You need to go for it, and you need to find a way like to secure the 4,000s because this is one of the biggest opportunities ever." I sent Salim the email. He reviewed actually the contract, and he sent me like notes. He sent the contract back, and then he was like, he marked like some notes, and he was like, "You need to make sure about these." I called them actually in Doha. I called, so they have their contact number. I called them, and then the receptionist gave me the communication manager. So I spoke with the guy, and I was like, "Hey, this is Peter. I've received the email of M7 pop-up. I just want to know what's happening, this and that. I need more information because the deadline is just like 1st of October to sign the contract, and we have like 4 days, and then by third we need to pay the money. So what's up?" So he gave me his WhatsApp number. I texted him, and then yeah, he literally, like he was like, okay, so you need to do this, you need to do that. You Yeah. Also, if you wanna, I asked him about, can I have an extension for the
Mm.
payment? And then he was like, yes, but you need to tell me exactly which date.
Mm.
Like you need to know exactly. So so I remember like the same day, I had my friend's djembe with me. So I literally went and gave it to him. And my friend actually is working with, so he's been running his own business like for almost 20 years. He's from the US as well, but he's based in Kenya. Um, and I literally, like I was talking to him about like the opportunity and everything, and I was like, I got the contract, I got this, I got that, and then we were breaking down the fees. So I said like $4,000 is only the expense, like the subscription fee, but
Mm,
then the rest, like I have one, two, three, four. That this is not how it started. He asked me a question, and he was like, "You're gonna take the products all the way to Doha, right?" And I was like, "Yes." And he was
mm,
like, "Do you have the paper? You need to get a paper from KRA that shows that these, so you're not gonna, so you don't need to pay actually for customs."
mm,
And then I was like, "No, we don't need to pay this, we don't need to pay that." They said like they're gonna take care of everything. And he was like, "I don't think so, show me the
mm,
contract." We
mm.
went through the contract, and we literally found out that I have to do all the documents myself, everything. Like literally, like I have to pay for the customs, for the taxes, import, export. There is a permit, there is a license that you're getting, and you need to pay for the flight tickets, you need to pay for the accommodations for this day. And I was like, okay, this is too much now.
When is
So we
the
calculate.
when is the event?
Tell me.
When is the event?
Uh,
When is
the
the
event
event?
is 26th of November, and like until 31st of November.
Oh,
So it's 5 days.
okay, so they told you like 2 months in advance. End of September, they told you
Yes.
for end of November. 2 months in advance.
Yes. Yeah.
And they gave you like 5 days to pay, like a week to pay,
Yeah. Yeah.
which you got an
Literally, they
extension
get.
on.
Yeah. Which is until like I got it, and then like I got just a week like from now. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, which is crazy to be honest.
So this is the challenge of running a business. It's one of the biggest challenges. It's not only the expenses that are covering the bad things, it's also the expenses for the good opportunities, the
Yeah,
unpredictable
and
opportunities, and how many opportunities do we have to forego from a business standpoint? And if somebody is an employee somewhere, they're not thinking too much about those opportunities. But if you run the business, this opportunity could really propel your business in a new direction.
but but that's exactly the thing. I remember one of my fashion mentors told me, and she was like,
So,
if you want actually want your business to succeed, you need to get a fund. You need to have a fund. You need to find a fund somewhere. Uh, Otherwise, like you cannot really, unless like you have enough money to fund it by yourself. But at the end of the day, you need a fund, and especially for fashion, you need to pay a lot of money in order like to get your product out there. It doesn't happen natural. Like this is the only thing that, even
mm,
like when it comes, yeah, even when it comes to markets and things, this is not how it works. Like for fashion like brands, like you have to have someone who introduces you to the market. You have to pay tons of money at the beginning, like in order like to get your products out there to be seen, to be trusted. So it's a lot of work, to be honest. It's not just like something that a person can do by himself.
I just, maybe this is the naive part of me. Maybe this is obvious to a lot of people in the US who started their own business, but it almost seems like to start a business, people need capital and need like consistent access to capital when they need it, which
Yeah,
is the
that's true.
lines of credit, it's the loans, it's the like being able to like with the unpredictable expenses to be able to cover it. And most people who have a job don't. Maybe for their personal lives, yeah, but for their work,
Mm.
they don't. They just show up and
Mm.
work, and then
That's
their
exactly the thing.
salary is paid, and the expenses that they do at work are paid.
Yeah, yeah. That's very true. And like at the end of the day, like regardless what the company is going through, like you're getting your money. I mean, if you're an employee,
Mm.
yeah, if the company is going through something, you're not taking the blame. You're just an employee, like you're getting your salary and that's it.
The
But
company might be
whatever is
doing
happening,
this, but your life
yeah,
is like this. Your life is like this.
yeah,
It cuts out the
yeah, yeah,
extremes.
yeah, yeah. So that's a truth about like running the business. But yeah, but let's be positive. I feel like we're gonna make it.
Well, and that's the thing, because there are people out there who can help, who
Yeah,
want to
I'm
not
pretty
even
sure.
can, but want to.
Mm.
Because I don't know. I want to believe that there are people out there who are like, wait, this is a huge opportunity for you. One, I care about you, but two, I care about what you're doing. Like I care
Mm.
about I mean, it's beautiful. And this is just one example. Look how beautiful this is. And
I
that's just
love
one example. I mean, no, really though, like it's beautiful. It's handmade. It's like from basically scratch, right? I mean, you didn't make the paints and stuff, but like you didn't make the materials, but you crafted it all together. And
again, you said like I didn't make the paints.
I don't think you made. Did you make the paint from scratch? No, you didn't make the blue paint, did you?
I What do you mean? Hold on. Like again?
No, like I'm saying that like it's handmade, but not like you didn't dye the stitching. You didn't create the dyes to do the paint. I
No,
mean,
but
you
I mean
mix
like
the
no, but
colors.
I mean like no, yeah, but that's not. I mean,
It's not
this is not
fully,
how it
fully,
works.
fully handmade,
No, no,
but nothing in
no,
the
no,
world
but
is, right? Yeah.
no, but this is not nothing. Like this is not how it works.
Yeah, I know.
Like
I know.
if someone is building the house, uh, doesn't mean the same person is actually making the color,
Yeah.
the paints.
The
No,
a home cooked meal doesn't mean the person grew every single tomato and onion.
that's exactly right. You
There are
like
degrees of homemade, right? There
of homemade.
handmade.
Yeah.
This is
You're
this is
buying.
85% handmade or whatever, homemade.
No. It's 100% handmade, but
Handmade.
yeah, but you don't actually. These are tools and raw materials. So I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
make the leather.
You didn't make the materials, yeah.
Yeah, because you buy actually the material because the material cannot really make itself by itself, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's my sister got her present.
She did good.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's first, and
Ah,
then
you're welcome,
she
yeah.
dressed me like she was super happy, and she was like, "Oh my god, like the bag is." She was like, "I didn't get the chance to take a photo." She was like literally more than happy, and she was like, "You have no clue." And I was like, "What do you mean I have no clue? I made it." She was like, she mentioned a lot. Like she was like, "You have no clue how amazing the bag," and I was like, "I made it. I know."
Just for some
uh,
context, Peter sent a gift to his sister, and I brought it back to the U.S. and sent it to her. And I was afraid to show people. It was a beautiful bag with some I think wallets or something on the inside. I was afraid to show it to people because I'm like, this is so beautiful. I was even afraid to look at it because I'm like, no, I need to ship it to the sister. Ship it to the sister. Don't show people. It won't even make it out. I didn't even want to show people before I left Kenya. I'm like, it won't make it out of the country. I have to ship it to the sister.
uh,
I was more afraid of myself probably than anyone else. I'm like, no, focus, focus, focus.
no, but you know that like yeah, this is for my sister, but because like this is like the best part of it is actually my sister's birthday and my brand's anniversary are both on the same day,
Hmm.
3rd of September.
Okay.
So it's and I always like I always forget to celebrate. I mean, because she's in the US, so most of the times like we don't like yeah we don't often meet. like September.
Mm,
So if we're gonna meet, like it's whether December or January, but not September.
mm.
So every time she doesn't get actually any gift for her birthday. So this time I was like, okay, so I'm gonna make it. I need to make it.
I have an idea that might make people more excited for the crowdfunding campaign.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
When did you say this event is? November 26th?
26th of November. My birthday is 25th of November.
Yes. Yes.
I know. I know what you had in
Yes.
mind. So this is my birthday
Yes.
gift.
This, I think, that would be a magical birthday gift for Peter. Wouldn't you think so?
I mean, to be honest, like yeah, that's.
What more would you want
Ah,
for your birthday?
do you know why? Because I'm turning 30.
This is your 30th birthday party.
This is my
To be able
30th
to spend your
birthday.
30th birthday in Doha at this event where you were prestigious, prestigious event where you were invited, you were selected to appear, um,
Yeah,
and
that's
have an
amazing.
opportunity to meet all these people who are in this fashion industry. It's like a fashion, something like a fashion incubator accelerator, isn't it? The M7 thing.
Yeah, M7 is number one platform. But it's not just a platform. M7 is a building, like it's a building in Doha, like 5 stores building. The number one building when it comes to fashion, art, and technology. And
Hmm.
they literally they host. Yeah, I mean, the first Valentino event, like in the Middle East,
Hmm.
wasn't M7, was it M7? And to be honest, like it was a breathtaking. Like I was lucky to be there. It was something, man. Like I felt like, like I felt like I was dreaming, man. Like this is like Wonderland. That, trust me, like that was like a whole different level of everything. So
And
yeah,
you could
so
be there for your birthday, not just
yeah,
be visiting, but you could be presenting, you could be showcasing
presenting,
there for
participating.
participating,
Yeah,
showcasing for your birthday.
yeah, that's
You could even make some birthday bags and show them as like celebrating 30th.
celebrating. So, yeah, I need to make I need to make something. Oh my God, like yeah, I need to make something about my 30th.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah,
That would be
I need
great.
to
I
do.
think that story is great. That story is great that you have this opportunity to go there for your birthday, your 30th birthday. You've been working on this for years. And now you have this huge opportunity on your 30th birthday to showcase this in front of lots of people in the Middle East who are very interested in fashion, art, and technology, you said, right?
Yeah, yeah. And being, like also like being, I feel like part of it, to be honest, like the most exciting part of it is being Sudanese and the fact that I got selected to showcase the brand. I feel like this is like it can actually give not just hope, but it can. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's something that can bring a lot of people, a lot of Sudanese, man, a lot of Sudanese. Uh, yeah, I just feel like it's something to celebrate, like as Sudanese, to be honest. I believe like it's something to celebrate as Sudanese because at the end of the day, like I'm not um I'm not doing this actually for just the brand, but the brand also is part of it's part of the country. And wherever I go, every time I showcase, I do something. I make sure to tell the story that we made it all the way from Sudan since 2016 until today. Even
Mm.
though we had to go through the war, but whatever we're having is much like is much more uh like big, great, and just like we don't have a reason to stop. Like we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep doing whatever like we used to do. So yeah, so I feel like that's it's a message. It's a message that I feel like I can say to every Sudanese creatives that it regardless like what we're having right now right away, as long as we work hard, I feel like we can do it. And I'm not an exception at the end of the day. Like I've been working hard actually my entire life, like to maybe for this opportunity. And yeah, and I'll keep working hard like for more opportunities. Like it's not just this one. I mean, this is the beginning of something great, and I believe that yeah, whatever is coming after is gonna be like more and more greater than this. Okay.
Whew. Um,
You
yeah, I just
okay?
started. Yeah, I mean, I just started thinking about this concept that I've talked about a lot of like emotional leadership.
uh,
And right now, I imagine people who are in Sudan or who are from Sudan might be
mm,
feeling a lot of hopelessness.
mm,
Um, and for you to say, no, I'm going to keep fighting, not fighting against people, but fighting for the beauty of Sudan and to
mm,
show people like there's hope, we can push through this and we can continue and we can maybe even come out more beautiful as a
mm,
result.
mm,
Um, and I mean, it plays into so much of what I do, like the idea of emotional combat. It's like there are emotions fighting against each other. There are people who are feeling hopelessness, saying, "Hey, the situation should just be hopeless." You're not
mm,
gonna, yeah, everything's just gonna fall apart. And then there's
mm,
you saying, "Listen, man, I've been working on this for a long time, and I'm not gonna stop because I
mm,
believe in the power of telling our story and showing our skills and our craftsmanship."
mm,
And
mm,
just being an example and demonstrating to people that, hey, we can still push forward, we can still create beautiful things in this world.
mm, mm.
Hell yeah, man.
No,
Because I know, like, I don't know a ton of Sudanese people in my life, but the ones that I do, I think have been really impacted. I mean,
mm,
obviously, by
mm,
the war and just how that can emotionally overwhelm their whole lives.
mm, mm,
And to be like, hey, yeah, it's really hard, and
mm,
I'm still doing this, and I'm doing this to show you all that this is possible, and you all as well can do something like this.
mm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I believe we're gonna make it. That's I mean, yeah, yeah. My dad, someone said something to me. I don't remember, but someone said like it's just an obstacle, so you need Fadel. I remember Fadel. When I told Fadel about it, he was like, "This opportunity cannot really, you cannot really lose this opportunity, regardless. You need to work hard. You need to push. You need to do a lot of things. Like you need to try and get yourself over there. Like get yourself out there.
Mm,
Because yeah, I mean, to be honest, but that's exactly the thing. I believe that it's it's destined for me like to do this. Yeah, working. I feel like I actually I believe that I have a power to make a change. Let's say, uh, I can influence on people. My art, my work, the brand itself has its own identity, its own uniqueness, and I feel like it gives a lot of people's hopes and pride, to be honest. Like whoever I see has the product. Like even here, like in Nairobi, like every time, like we go out, people are really proud of carrying the product. Like they're prouder than I, the one who made the
Mm,
product itself.
mm,
They actually showcase the products more than I showcase them. And they just walk around and say, "Hey, I got it from my friend. My friend made this. My friend," and and they just speak about the product
mm,
in a way that it's not just a product. Like it has a story, it has an impact, it has a power. Uh, and I feel like it's not like it. To be honest, like it keeps me working harder every day because I feel like it it changes people. Uh, it changes, like yeah, it changes a lot of people's perspectives and point of views. I remember Benjamin, my apprentice, when his mom visited. So she was visiting from the US. She came to Nairobi. I guess like that was like 3 months ago. Um, so she know about me. She know about me from Benjamin and Tina, but we never met. So they had like a small gathering, well, as a welcoming to his mom and aunt. Um, like we went there. I cooked for them also. Like I made some dishes, and then we had like one of the best conversations ever. The next day, she came to the workshop and she literally told me this, and she was like, "I want to get one of your products before leaving.
mm.
I just want to tell you this." And she saw a bag. She saw one of the bags, and she was like, "I want this, and I'm gonna pay for you right now." Um, she literally, like for me, that was a moment when I realized that people like are getting more into the products because of other people sharing the stories of their own
Mm,
products.
mm,
So it's not even me. Like she saw like like this is exactly like how Benjamin and I met. Like Benjamin wanted to have wanted to be the first one to get a fanny pack in Nairobi. And it
mm.
happened actually. This is exactly what Benjamin told me.
Yeah.
We met first like through a friend, and then we met another time like with the same friend. And then we ran into each other like for the third time, and he was like, "Let me tell you something. When I saw the bag for the first time and I knew that you made it, I wanted to be the first person to get it in Nairobi." And immediately, man, without even like second thought, he got two bags, one for himself and one for his partner.
Mm,
And literally, both of them, they've been using the bags like until today. It's been 1.5 year.
mm.
They're literally using the bags like on every day. Wherever I go, they're literally carrying the bags. And it's just yeah, it's something that I'm very proud of, to be honest. But also at the same time, I feel like the product has a story, has a very unique, strong story that can be told and can be passed through. And I want to keep doing this. I really want to keep doing this. Yeah.
So, in light of that, or because of that, let me share my story with the product for anyone listening. I got this wallet and I got it from Peter for my birthday. Let me see. Oh, it's clear. Yeah. For my birthday, which was the beginning of June.
Mhm,
I think he and I met mid May or something. So this was
mhm,
very shortly after we met. And he was like, "Oh, it's your birthday. birthday, I'm going to give you a gift. And I can't remember if you gave it to me before I went to Germany or when I was still
No,
there,
but
before I left. So it was
before.
even before. So I left at the end of May. So I think he gave it to me 1 or 2 weeks after he met me.
Mm.
And I was like, this thing is so beautiful. I could never use it. It's too beautiful. And so I didn't even take it to Germany. I left it in the apartment where I was staying. I was like, I'm just going to leave it here and I'm not going to use it. This is so beautiful. I don't want to like it's too beautiful. It doesn't match with the outfits that I wear. I have to style up to be able to carry something like this. It's just too much. Like, and that's a wallet that I put in my pocket. Imagine a bag that I would carry on top of me. I'm like, no, man, this I am not ready. I'm not ready for this level of like high fashion. This is too beautiful. And then I can't remember. It was one day, maybe I think I was going to a fancy event. I was like wearing a suit or something. I said, okay, I'm wearing a suit. It's a nice suit. Yeah, let me take the fancy wallet. And so I put my cards into the wallet. I took the wallet and I have not turned back. Um, I think what I like about it is that even if the rest of my outfit feels somewhat shabby, or even if I don't feel really stylish, if I pull out the wallet, I go, this is beautiful though. It's like having one element of beauty that a lot of other people don't have to see. It's something I can almost keep to myself. I think I'd heard this sometime in the past where people are like, you should wear really nice underwear for yourself, not for other people, but for yourself. And it kind of, okay, I'm not trying to connect it to that, but in a way it feels like this hidden joy, this hidden beauty that I have and I can share with other people if I want to, but
Mm,
it's something that I have. Um,
mm,
and and especially because you showed me how to make some of the leather or to craft some
mm.
of the leather, I'm like, man, I watched you make this stuff and I tried to craft this and I don't, hey man, to do it this well, hey, you should see the coaster I came up with. It's beautiful, but it's beautiful almost like a kid's drawing is beautiful. It's like I want to put it up on the fridge. But but yeah, and so just and I think also because I think if I bought it, I'd still feel the same way. But you gave it to me as a gift a few weeks after you met me for my birthday.
Mm.
What? And you
No,
made it
but
like, and
no,
so,
but I
so
mean,
but
like because actually when we met, I remember like we kept meeting and having the longest conversations ever. Like literally, man, like we were literally meeting like minimum like 3 4 times a week.
mm,
And
yeah,
we
we
just
both
having
like to dance.
conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just no, I mean we just have like very long conversations, like just long
Mm,
conversations, like on and on and on. And I was like, and to be honest, like 2 weeks, 2 weeks are more than enough
yeah.
to make a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like and it was very genuine. Like for me, like it was obviously that we're gonna be friends and brothers. So yeah, I mean, it was your birthdays to be honest. Like I was like, okay, so you have to you have to have something special for your birthday at least. So
And you know that
what
you
what
also have to have something special for your birthday.
I mean,
like
yeah.
like perhaps going to a showcase in Doha.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like but this is something that I didn't even thought about. Uh, um, I kinda have like fears of turning 30
Mm,
because I don't know why. Because for me, like yeah, as I said, like it's not something that I have feared before. It's just like I feel like okay, so when I'm turning 30, things are gonna get changed. I don't know what. I don't know what are the things, but I'm just saying it. And I keep thinking about it like, what am I gonna do like when I'm 10 and 30? Am I gonna celebrate? What yeah, also one of the things like I feel like I like celebrating my achievements more than
mm-hmm.
Like I need, like this is exactly what I've been doing. Like on my birthdays, like I sit down with myself and think about what I have achieved, what things that I achieved, um, yeah, for the past years. What things do I want to achieve? Do I have milestones that I want to, like, you get what I mean? Like
Hmm.
for me, like I feel every every year like has to be some, like I need to have some plans for the year, and then think about, okay, so the next year, am I going to be able to say that I achieved everything, or I'm still having things like to achieve? So yeah, so this is, I feel like this is how I'm thinking more. But for my 30th birthday, I don't know. I have no clue what I want to do about it, because I don't know. It's a big thing. Turning 30 is a big thing.
Well, I hope you reflect on it while you're in Doha.
I hope, to be honest,
You
like
know?
this is, look, I believe this is going to be my one of my biggest achievements, and I mean that. If I made it, I mean, like if I made it to Doha, it's gonna be like one of my biggest achievements, because ever since I moved back to Sudan. I moved to Sudan, not back. Like this is my first time moving actually to Sudan,
Mm,
2007, and then I started, yeah, to get introduced to the culture, but differently. I mean, yeah, both my parents are Sudanese. We speak Sudanese, but when I came back to Sudan, it was like that was literally like a different whole thing of Sudan that I don't know about. Not the language, not the culture, and I was like, okay, so I don't know what am I doing. So I had to no, 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 trust me, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had to reintroduce myself again to the Sudanese like dialect, to the culture. I had to force myself like to learn things, learn English, uh, start playing sports. I never was like a sports person. I started playing sports like again when I was like 11. For
Wow.
like started, yeah, 11, 12. Honestly speaking, and I was like watching YouTube. I mean, yeah, the only thing that I was doing a lot back in Libya is the internet. I was literally
Mm,
the geek. Like I had an email, like when I was very young, I had an
yeah.
email, like I was using like Yahoo, like all of these, like uh, chat rooms things when I was very young. But then yeah, but then when I came to Sudan, I came to realization that I have a whole new life that I never experienced. So I
Mm,
started to experience everything differently, living things differently, taking transportations for my first time in my entire life, um going to the shop and buying groceries. I never done that in my entire life. You get what I
mm,
mean? Like it's,
mhm,
yeah, no, no,
mhm.
no, trust me. Like it's a whole different experience of
Yeah.
this is life. This is
Mm,
its life, and it has a lot of things going on.
mhm,
And you see people like and then I met my uncles, like my uncles, my mom's siblings, my dad's siblings, my cousins. Uh, so it was, like family. I never had a relative, like I never had relatives, but my own small family, which is my mom, dad, and my sisters and my younger brother.
mm,
So it
mhm,
wasn't, you get me? So I wasn't familiar with relatives. I mean, until the day, to be honest, like Yes, I do have relatives, and I do get in contact every now and then with my uncles, with my cousins, etc. But the connection, the bond that I have with my family, with my small family, is the strongest ever. Because until the day I didn't get used to it. I didn't get used to have like the bigger family. So yeah, so I feel like, yeah, that's what made me, what's making me, not made me, what's making me feel more and more appreciated, and I'm appreciating the opportunity that I came to live in Sudan, and I got whatever I'm getting right now, right away, and it made me the person I am,
Mm.
and it gave me a motive to be more creative, more confident, more like a person with an identity, a proud
Mm.
person with an identity,
Mm.
and I want actually to celebrate and showcase this identity with people. So yeah, so I feel like this is part of me. Like I always want to celebrate Sudan. Like I literally always want to celebrate Sudan. So for me, I feel like this is exactly me celebrating Sudan. So yeah.
So it's like a birthday celebration for you, but also a celebration for
Yeah,
Sudan. Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
celebration for
It's
Sudan. I
together.
feel like it's literally
Yeah.
celebration for
Yeah.
my 30 years of living in Libya and Sudan
Mm.
and Egypt, and you get what I mean, being
Yeah.
Sudanese and then
Mm.
and then making the name, carrying all the hopes and things with me, and making it out there,
And
like
I
despite
imagine that's
everything else.
and I
Yeah,
imagine that's a story that resonates with a lot of Sudanese, not just Sudanese people, but anyone who is a foreigner living, or like is a foreigner in a country and thinking about their identity from their home country.
yeah, yeah,
Um, this idea that maybe growing up as a foreigner in a different country, feeling like you're Sudanese, but then going to live in Sudan, you're like, okay, now I'm Sudanese, Sudanese. Like I'm,
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I'm really Sudanese now, hey. and then and then yeah, and then you didn't want to leave Sudan, right? It's because the war why you left, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I remember my mom. Like since I started working actually with my brand, like back in 2016, I got a lot of opportunities, like to travel, like to leave the country, and I kept like I literally declined all of them, and until, I mean, yeah, until recently,
Mm,
before the war, because I was in Egypt. I was in Egypt before, like during the pandemic, and then like I came back 2021, yeah, mid of 2021. So one of the questions my mom was like, why did you come back? Like when things were, I mean, yeah, she's questioning like if things were just like working out in Egypt, like why did you come back? And for me,
mm,
the answer was, I have a lot of responsibility like towards the country, so
mm,
I'm not gonna leave the country.
mm,
I want to make it, like this is me, the joy of making it in the country. Like I want to be in Sudan and then travel outside for events, conferences, whatever.
mm,
But I want to live in Sudan. And I know that I would never, like if the war didn't happen, I would never have left, because
mm,
yeah, I mean, I'm just I'm made, like I've made up my mind already that I'm gonna stay in Sudan. Like even like if my whole family are gonna leave like someday, which is, I mean, also like that was part of the plan. Like my parents, both my parents were planning actually to join my sister in the US.
mm,
but that's like yeah, like 2024, 2025, something like in
Mm,
between. I was the first actually to say like I'm not gonna join you guys, and even like I never applied for the lottery in my entire life
mm, mm,
because I was like, why would I want to apply for a lottery when I have a business and when I have a country?
mm,
I'm running my own business. I'm living in my own country and I'm helping people and I want to make it in my own country. I want to do this. I want to do this to the country. Why do I
mm.
want to leave everything behind and just go for something that I don't even know? So yeah.
And you're probably like me, and people probably say this to you as well, that Peter, you have so much talent. You're really smart, man. You're really intelligent. You're really capable. You're really hardworking. You can kind of do almost anything you want in a way. And yeah, but there's a lot of things you don't want, and you kind of know what you want,
Mm,
right?
mm.
And it could be really hard, I imagine, to tell you if your parents are saying we're going to move to the US and you said, I'm going to stay here. That could be a really hard conversation. But the conversations are
Mm.
easier when we have more clarity over what we want, you know?
Yeah, but like I feel like especially for my family, for my parents, like because as I said, like I was very independent when I was, I guess, for like 14, 15.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like I was doing my own things. Like I was traveling. I was like I've done a lot of things. I've worked in so many like places before. I mean, starting my like every now and then, like I do something. So yeah, so it's not that I was fully actually dependent on my dad.
No, yeah.
Um, but yeah, but for me, like it's even for my dad, like it's like he's a very open-minded person, and he's very supportive when it
Hmm.
comes to that. We don't often actually have conversations about what am I planning to do in my future and this and that, because I guess he respects that I need to do things my own and I need to learn from my own experience,
Hmm.
because I guess this is exactly how he grew up. Because yeah, he lost my grandpa when he was I guess when he was really young, and then he got raised by my grandpa's brother.
Hmm.
So he was fully dependent on himself, and he traveled a lot. I mean, he lived most of his life outside Sudan.
Hmm.
So yeah, and he was doing his own things. Like nobody was telling him like what to do, what not to do. So I feel like this is exactly the kind of life like he wants to give me, the kind of freedom that I need to experience things. I need to do things by myself so I can learn. And yeah, and I'm doing this, and I'm living up to it. To be honest, I'm trying to make the best of it. Yeah.
And what I'd like to highlight is that we never fully do things on our own. So even if we're doing a lot of stuff by ourselves, we still have relationships with other people that we
Mm.
help them, they help us. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be really honest, I'm starting to feel a bit tired because I didn't sleep very well last night. We can have more conversations about emotional combat and all these conflicts that are happening in life. But
Mm.
yeah, so I wanted to maybe just end. We talk a little more about the crowdfunding, and then we can wrap up the call. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
um, Peter wanted to start a crowdfunding campaign, GoFundMe, which he's not allowed to start. There's people are only allowed to start them in a few different countries. It's only like 10 maybe countries where people can start them and manage them and receive the funds. But people can receive the funds on behalf of someone else. And so I said, Peter, yeah, man, let me help you out. Um, and I'm even more excited now that it's your birthday. Actually, I really want to talk about that part because I think birthdays, depending on the culture, but at least in the US and some other cultures, birthdays are one of very few times during the year where we let ourselves support other people's dreams.
Mm,
I think most of the time we're like, ah, yeah, you want to have a dream? Okay, well, screw you. We all have dreams too. But on birthdays, I think it's one day of the year that we pause, maybe Christmas or some other holidays, for other religious groups,
mm,
where we pause and we go, let me get them what they really, really, really dream to have.
mm,
Let's make them so excited by this gift. Um, and so to hear that it's your birthday, I mean, I knew it was your birthday around that time, but at the same time as this Doha event, it's like, yeah, man, let's make this GoFundMe happen. Let's make it happen so Peter can go for his birthday to Doha to showcase his brand and
mm,
Sudan. Um, and so, yeah, there's a GoFundMe. I think the link is gofundme.com/Peter dash Peter, like a little dash, and dash black dash crowdfunding. Um, I believe that's right, right?
I don't
Peter and
know.
Black crowdfunding. Let's hope it is. Let's hope it is. If not, then you search on GoFundMe for Peter and Black and it should show up. Um, but yeah, the goal is $10,000, correct?
Yeah, we have like $10,000. We need to pay like $4,000 10th of October and the rest until like
1 week.
29th.
1 week,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we have
1 week, and
literally
it takes a few days to transfer the money. So how the transfer would work is that the money would come into me. I will transfer it all to Peter via, it's like Sendwave, or there's different programs for
yeah,
remittance.
send wave wise. Yeah,
Sendwave
I guess.
works well. Wise, Remitly, there's a handful of them. Sendwave works quite well, and it'll go directly into Peter's M-Pesa account, which is a mobile money account in
Yeah.
for Safaricom in Kenya. And I can show receipts if anybody needs receipts. There's no problem with that. Um, and yeah, so the idea is to basically raise this money, especially by the end of in 1 week, less than a week, because it'll take a few days to transfer the $4,000 so he can pay the conference fee, but then also the other money so that he can actually go. Because even if he gets the money to pay the conference fee, he still needs to pay for the flights and the import export tariffs or whatever there are, and maybe a visa, and who knows what other. He
Yeah,
knows a lot more
they're
about the
just
expenses.
crazy.
The crowdfunding, I mean, I think we've detailed some of the expenses, or most of the expenses, on the crowdfunding page.
Yeah, I guess
If
on
you
the
check that out,
crowdfunding, yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
if you check that out, you can also go there and see more pictures of some of the leather goods that he has crafted. You can also go to see him on, it's Peter and Black on Instagram, right?
Yeah, Peter and Black, yeah. Peter
Peter and Black on
A-N-D.
it.
Yeah,
Peter A&D Black on Instagram,
yes.
and you can see
Yeah.
more stuff there. And really, I mean, just Peter, overall, I am grateful to do these podcast episodes. I don't know if people ever listen to them or if they will, or how much joy they will get out of them. But for me, at least, having the conversation with you and learning something about you, learning something about life in general, I think helps at least me, and maybe helps the guest as well. Because I am really excited to hear that it's your birthday at that same time. I mean, I think it transforms just my feelings towards it again. Because even me, someone who tries to support people's dreams and hopes, even me, when I hear it's a birthday, I'm like, ooh, I should support it more. Right? Ooh, I'm allowed to support it. I'm allowed to tell other people to support it. I'm allowed to share this even more, because it's not just randomly supporting someone's dream, it's someone's dream timed with their 30th birthday.
Yeah,
While so much is
it's
going on back home and they want to
a lot.
showcase
Yeah,
their
I know. It's
culture
like
to
this is
people.
a lot of collective actions together.
So the other
The
question is,
collective.
if people do like, so I mean, crowdfunding, there's a couple of reward levels, I think. Do you know
Yeah.
them off the top of your head?
No.
One of them I think was like a thank you note. One of them was
Thank you.
maybe a,
No. I guess a wallet, and then access. to a collection, um, and then the last one is like a customized piece.
And if people are incentivized by that, then that's great. If people just say this is Peter's birthday and they want to help Peter out with his birthday so he can go do this, hell yeah.
Hmm.
And the other thing is, if people do want to buy something from you, where would they go to buy something from you? What's the best
I
path for that?
mean, Instagram is 24/7
Okay.
active. So I feel like
Okay.
so everything is already on Instagram. I mean, the website doesn't have the e-commerce. Yeah, doesn't have the e-commerce. It's just
Okay.
like it just. I guess we're having an issue with the bank account,
Okay.
Kenya. So
So
it's
so right now, Instagram is the best place to go to.
yeah, and Instagram
Do
is the
they
best
buy it
place.
directly, or they just communicate with you there and then
They communicate. I mean, it's like they're communicating, and then it's yeah, it's
you
easy
coordinate?
actually. It's very
Yeah.
it's easy to coordinate.
And you can ship
Yeah.
these. You can ship the goods to different parts of the world, or
Yeah. I mean, it's like a shipping takes 3 to 4 days maximum.
even to the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, even to Germany. I mean,
Hey, we.
yeah.
So if you are not in Kenya and you would like to purchase some of these things, please do. Like I said, it. You might think it looks too pretty for you, but then you use it, and you're like, this is. I.
I love
It makes you feel more pretty.
that. Yeah, I mean, like that's.
So, any parting words that you want to share, Peter, before we go?
Mm, I mean, what I can. Okay, so for me, like, I feel like it's. I'm very grateful for whatever like I have in life, and I feel like it's like everything is just like falling into its place, its distant actually place. And I believe like whatever good like you're doing in life, it's gonna come back to you. There is no way of losing anything. um if you're helping people, like probably like other people are gonna help you, and then yeah, I feel like it's all about like having good intentions in life and doing things, doing your best first, like doing your best to yourself, and then helping other people, and then other people are gonna help you. And this is, I guess, this is how life works, right?
Mm.
It's just like the circle of life, like we're doing a lot of things, like we don't think that we help people with, but at the end of the day, like we're getting a lot of things that like help us a lot in our own journeys without even realizing. And I feel like yeah, we need to address them, we need to appreciate them, we need to be grateful for whoever we're having in our lives, like, and whoever is helping us, like, in making our dreams come true and making our lives better. Yeah, that's
My mind's. So many ideas came to my head. The main one was, Peter, if there's any way, so the crowdfunding is one way to help with the money that Peter needs to do a lot of the things.
Mhm.
But there are probably other ways to help. One of them is to share the crowdfunding campaign. Another one is to share the brand. I
Mm.
imagine another one is there are things that he needs to do with the money. So if you could help out with those things that he needs to do, then he doesn't need the money. So I don't know if Peter's up for it, but what came to my mind is if anyone knows someone in Doha who has a place where he could stay, then he doesn't need to pay for accommodation.
That's true.
Or if somebody knows someone who could help him out with the import export tariff paperwork stuff, then he doesn't need to either pay someone, or he doesn't need to spend all his time figuring that out. He can spend more time crafting leather goods for the showcase.
Mm. Mm.
So if there are other people that can help out in those ways, I think that could really help as well. So I'm even
Yeah, yeah.
thinking, who do I know in Doha that might have a room or a place for him to stay that he would appreciate. So,
Okay.
so yeah. Thank you, Peter. I'm really glad you came. Um, and yeah, man, let's see what happens. And let's get you to Doha for your birthday.
Yeah, inshallah, we're gonna make it happen.
All right, good. My camera froze, so this is perfect timing.
Yeah, even mine
uh,
froze. I don't know. Yeah, yours froze now. Mine is
Mine
still
froze, but
working.
I'm looking up to the sky in a very hopeful way. So, all right.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Have a good night. Bye bye.